Today we're going to take a look at this SC chain 1 stripe stitch. It's a really simple and effective pattern. All you need to know is the single crochet stitch and how to work a chain and how to change colors. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. I'm going to begin with a slip knot. Put that on my hook. And now I'm going to chain an even number of chains. So I'm going to work 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now remember when you're working your chain that the loop on your hook doesn't count as a chain. So this is my first chain from hook and second chain from hook. And that's where we're going to start our first row. So this chain that we skipped, the first one from the hook, counts as our turning chain. And I'm going to work 1 SC into that first chain. So I'm just inserting my hook into the chain, drawing up a loop, yarn over hook, draw through those 2 loops on the hook. So that's my 1 SC made. And now my stitch repeat is 1 SC in next chain, chain 1, skip next chain. So I'm going to work into the very next chain, 1 SC in next chain, chain 1, and skip next chain. So I'm not going to work into this next chain. Then I repeat that to the last 2 stitches. So I'm going to do 1 SC in next chain, chain 1, skip next chain, 1 SC in next chain, chain 1, and skip that next chain, 1 SC in my next chain, chain 1, skip next chain. And now I'm at my last 2 chains. I'm just going to work 1 SC in each of those last 2 chains. So insert my hook, draw up a loop, yarn over hook, and draw through your 2 loops. And 1 more SC. That's it for our first row. Now we're going to turn the work to work our second row. And that begins with a chain 1 as our turning chain and 1 SC in my first SC. Now my stitch repeat is chain 1, skip next SC, 1 SC in next chain 1 space. So I'm going to chain 1, skip that SC, and then work into the chain 1 space. So if I pull on this a little bit, you can see that chain 1 space a little better. And I'm just going to work my SC right into that space. That's where I'm going to put my hook, not into the chain that's above it, but under the chain into the space. Pull up a loop, yarn over hook, draw through my 2 loops. And that's it. I'm going to chain 1, skip the SC, work 1 SC into the next chain 1 space. So it's really quite easy and fast once you get going. You just know to chain 1, and that gives you the length you need to get over that 1 SC, and then SC into the next chain 1 space. And it's much easier to work into chain spaces than it is to work into your stitches. So you don't have to be so careful where you're putting your hook. It's right into the space. So I'm doing that chain 1, skipping the second last SC, and then my last SC, I'm going to work 1 SC in there. Now this is the point where I'm going to change colors. So I'm not actually going to finish off that last SC. I'm going to work until I have 2 loops on the hook, as I do now. And then I'm going to just drop my first color, pick up my second color, And then leaving a tail of about 6 or 8 inches, I'm going to yarn over hook and draw through those last 2 loops with my new color. And that makes a nice, neat color change for you. And then I'm going to turn that around. And I'm going to begin my next row. So I'm going to begin with a chain 1. And a little tip here, if you hate weaving in ends, as most of us do, you can actually work right over this yarn tail, securing it so that you don't have to weave it in later. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just going to flip this tail over to the top of my work. I'm going to work right around it. So I've chained 1 for my turning chain, and I'm going to work 1 SC into the first SC. And now my stitch repeat is 1 SC and next chain 1 space, skip next SC. SC into my first chain 1 space here. I'm going to work right around that yarn tail, trapping it as I go. Chain 1. I'm going to skip that SC, work into the next chain 1 space, working an SC, chain 1, skip next SC, 1 SC and next chain 1 space. So you can see I've trapped that yarn tail with my stitches. And you can do that just for 1 or 2 inches. And then you can just snip that tail off and you don't have to worry about it unraveling later. Now this doesn't always please everyone because you can see the tail a little bit through those chain 1 spaces. It's not very visible, so if it doesn't bother you, that's a good way to go. Otherwise, you can just leave your tail and weave it in with a yarn needle when you're finished your piece. So I'm just going to finish off my row here. I'm always chain 1 over an SC, skip that SC, and then work into the chain 1 space. And once I get to my last SC for this row, I'm just going to SC in there. So your first and third rows, or your right side rows, begin and end with 2 SCs right beside each other. I'm going to turn my work. And for this 4th row, I'm going to chain 1 for my turning chain. I'm going to work 1 SC in the first SC. And these 2nd and 4th rows begin and end with 1 SC. That's a good way to remember where you are in the pattern. If you have 2 SCs at the end of the row, then that's a 1st row or a 3rd row. If you have 1 SC at the beginning and end of your row, then it's a 2nd row or 4th row. So I worked my 1 SC, chain 1, skip my next SC, and then work into the chain 1 space, work the SC there. So you can see as you go along, this gets quite a bit quicker. Because as long as you can tell the difference between your chain 1 spaces and your SCs, it's really easy. You don't have to do any counting. And once I've worked 2 rows of my contrast color, I've just worked to my last stitch in my last row of this color, work to 2 loops on hook, and then if I had cut this, I would bring my yarn up and finish my SC with that new color. So that's all there is to it. With just SC stitches and chain 1s, you can make this really effective stitch pattern that's reversible, and it's great for beginners. So that's our SC chain 1 stripe stitch.